And tonight, Sheriff McFadden hosted that panel to discuss the potential reopening of a juvenile detention center, largely known as Jail North.
WBTV's Dalford Jones is joining us now live from West Charlotte with more on what it's going to take to get that facility reopened. Dalford?
Well, John and Siobhan, tonight's discussion, one that is very closely tied to a topic we've covered extensively here at WBTV. And of course, I'm talking about youth violence. One community leader we spoke to tonight believes the closure of the JDC back in 2022 has fueled recent acts of violence in the city. Since the juvenile detention center opened in 2019, Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden says the facility was reshaping the minds of young men and a convenient location for lawyers and parents as opposed to driving to the Cabarrus Juvenile Detention Center.
And we had great relationships. Parents were able to see their kids. Lawyers were able to see their clients. And it was a very vibrant, very productive juvenile detention center.
In 2022, the JDC was forced to close their doors because of a lack of funding and staffing, according to the sheriff. And to unlock the doors at Jail North, McFadden says people to run the place is at the top of the list.
To open a juvenile detention center in Mecklenburg County, it's going to take 96 staff members. That's 96 people that we would have to hire.
We are support mothers of homicide victims whose children were killed by juveniles.
Tina Sykes-Mosley, who lost her son to gun violence in 2020, after hearing the sheriff, is of the belief there's no real accountability for juvenile offenders.
There's no real reform, and I don't care what they say with what they are presenting, there will be no reform. So therefore, they will return these children back to the streets only to have another mother stand over the casket of her child, her loved one. That's what will happen. That is the cycle here in Charlotte, North Carolina, that we will not own.
At Tuesday's discussion, several people also spoke about the difference they witnessed when the JDC was opened.
We will be back and standing in support for those young men because I know for a fact it is what they need.
People like Arkevius Armstrong, who told us he was rehabilitated while incarcerated. He uses his organization, Step Up to Leadership, to mentor troubled youth.
We worked on character building. We're working on not only just their social skills, but how to deal with conflict. But most importantly, we was giving them opportunities and the tools just to allow them to be successful upon their return back into society.
The kids are going to come back. There are no life sentences coming out of juvenile court. There is no death penalty coming out of juvenile court. And so every child that walks through our courtroom doors is eventually going to walk back out into this community, into somebody's school, into somebody's job, into somebody's church, into somebody's activity, into your grocery store. They're going to be in our community. They're our babies.